Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. We have I notice it seems as if I'm having a communications problem with some people on YouTube. And I think what it is, I don't think not everyone realizes who I am and what I do. But I'll tell you, there's certain people that I don't teach, and they'll be like bounty hunters. I don't teach bounty hunters. I don't teach police, law enforcement type, bouncers, that type of mentality. Even many military, I don't even teach. And it's because of the attitude. Attitude is important. In my world, attitude is everything. But the idea is to have the proper attitude for the kind of stuff that I do. They have, all those people that I just mentioned, they have their own attitude. And that attitude works, I guess, for their type of occupation. But I'm into self-defense, and it's not like self-defense, you know, like somebody's gonna punch you. You know, that's not the kind of self-defense I'm into. I'm into when your life is on the line. When if you don't perform well, you will die. That's the kind of stuff that I'm into. In other words, there's little room for error. There is room for error because everybody makes error. Even the people that are trying to harm you, they're going to make mistakes. And that's why a lot of my stuff is all aimed on trying to get these people to make mistakes. Because the more mistakes they make and the less mistakes you make, the better chance you're going to live through the situation. But like I say, so the stuff I deal with is life and death situation. If you notice, I don't really, before I handle a gun, I show you, well, it's empty. My guns are not empty. There's a round in the chamber. When I take a round out of the chamber, and then later on, I holster it or reload it and stuff like that. When you keep doing that on and off, one of these days you're going to forget to put a round back in the chamber. And that's why I don't unload it. Very seldom do I get a round out of the chamber. Now that's one of the first rules of gun safety, is you handle each gun like it is loaded. If you're handling my gun, it is loaded. If you see my gun, it is loaded. That's why I have it. I don't have it as a piece to kind of hold my pants up or as a paperweight or any of this kind of stuff. It's a tool that I use to keep me alive. And so the stuff that I show, it's for that intent. Now, I can't teach everybody. And a lot of people, they don't have the right attitude. They don't realize they're going to die if they don't do this right. So, like that, I can't teach you. You're not going to listen. Okay, and if you go to a policeman, and you have a policeman educate you and show you how to handle a gun, he's going to show you the proper way of handling a gun when you're at the range. Because this is what he knows. He handles it as if he's in the range. He handles that weapon as a liability. It is because, like I say, whenever he uses his weapon, whenever he pulls it out, whenever he uses it, he's got to worry about liability. And I go through this all the time when I'm dealing with law enforcement. And because they don't know anything about self-defense. They don't know anything about surviving. They believe they do. In their minds, they really believe it. And this is what I tell them. Okay, it's not self-defense. When I get in a self-defense situation, for some reason, I never have 10 or 12 of my friends that are armed with me. It just doesn't seem to happen that way. And I don't have a support system behind me. If I was to get injured, I don't have an ambulance that's going to come pick me up and somebody's going to pay for the hospital bill. It doesn't happen that way. Nobody's going to pay for the funeral. We're not going to make no big fancy funeral, nothing like that. I mean, I am totally on my own. No support system, no communications, no armed friends with more friends on the way. That is what I call self-defense. Now, and that's what I call surviving, because I'm going up against 10 or 12 and they are all armed and they have their intent on harming me. And it's me and maybe one other person against all of these people. So now that's what I call self-defense, and that's the kind of stuff that I deal with. So if you think I don't display enough safety, you're right, I don't. And that's because I am not a safety kind of person. I am a dangerous kind of person. When it comes to violence, that's what I do, is I teach people how not to be safety conscious, but to be dangerous. You have to be extremely dangerous. That's the only way you're going to get through this situation. If you want to make comments and talk about how I'm not safe enough and all this kind of stuff, you just go right ahead. But I have to go through the same routine whenever I tell people that, what I do is not like everybody thinks. I say I run around in anywhere I want, but mostly in Central America and Mexico, but I tell you, people say, well, you're asking for trouble. I've been in more gunfights, more trouble in the United States. So, don't tell me that kind of crap I'm looking for. I'm not. And but I say I see it. I see stuff that a lot of people don't see, and that's why I make these videos, to help people so they can see things, so they don't wait till the problem is right on them before they do anything. Most of the time I'm not involved in violence, and that is because I'm able to see it as it is developing, and I'm able to cut it off before it gets to that point. And I say, so the stuff I do, you see and I talk about and all this, the idea is we don't want to do violence. So, unlike military and police, they don't get involved until they are ready for violence. And we don't have that luxury. We don't have that luxury. It comes to us. And police and military, like I say, the policeman isn't going to stop you until he knows that he's got control of the situation. And muggers aren't going to mug you unless they feel they have control of the situation. So they basically use the same tactics. So what you need to do is see these situations before they arise, and have a plan to stop them. And the violent acts that I talk and teach about is in case it does come upon you and you just weren't ready for it. And a good example is, like, say, what happened to me a little over a month ago. My John Wayne video. And like I say, there's just some things you can't prepare. I was prepared, but I mean, there's some things you just cannot avoid. Sometimes violence is just unavoidable. Unlike military and police and bouncers, what do I say, bounty hunters and all that, they put themselves in those situations. We don't. We avoid them. But so if you're thinking that I'm not safe or something, you're probably right. But that's not the point. I share ideas that I use and the things that have kept me alive and safe and healthy. So I'm sorry if it offends you, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. And like I tell everyone, if you have a problem with me, you just come with me. Just spend a day with me. And I don't care if it's in the States or, like I say, outside of the States. I will show you what it's like to live under these conditions when I can see so much stuff that's going on. Most people don't even know this stuff is going on. But I'm in the thickest of it. So. But anyway, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com.